Hello. Today, we're going to take a quick look at working with groups in TrueSight Operations Management. Let's get started. As you can see, I've logged into my operations console with an administrative privilege, and we're going to take a look at creating some groups. Groups are very important in the TrueSight functionality and being able to efficiently organize devices and monitored endpoints that you have. It makes it very easy and very efficient for managing a large environment and finding things quickly. In fact, in the official documentation for TrueSight Operations Management, you can see that there's quite a bit of information, and most importantly, best practices for creating monitored groups. As you can see, the documentation is very comprehensive and talks about why and when you would use certain groups, what to include, and how to organize them. I highly recommend checking out the official documentation. But for today, let's get started with just creating a basic simple group for our environment. You can see that I have a relatively new installation. There's very little setup. I haven't even added a dashboard yet. But if I hit the Configuration tab, you can see that there's a section for groups. If I click Groups, you can see that I have one group already set up. And in my group, I have several Windows servers, and you can see that I've titled it Windows Servers, and I have some monitored instances that I'm concerned with for those particular servers. So that's useful to me to have those grouped together. The way you create a new one is simply go to the ellipsis at the end of the group configuration and you hit Create Group. You can give it a name. I'm going to call this TrueSight Servers. And at this point, we could use the parent and or child groups components to create hierarchies of groups if that's important or useful to your organization. Remember, the documentation will explain more about when and why you might use the grouping feature. But today we're just doing a simple static group. We're going to go ahead and add some devices by clicking the Add button under Assign Devices. We can type in something specific. If we knew we wanted to search on a particular component or string, we could do that. Or we can just hit search and see all of the various devices. Again, using the search string up here might be useful to you if you have a large number of devices in your environment. For me, this is a very small lab environment, so there's only a few to choose from. I'm going to pick two of these servers that are related to TrueSight 10, and I'm going to hit OK. At this point, I can also add monitor instances, things like CPU monitoring and all the different monitors you have set up. If you wanted to at this time to add specific monitors to include in your group, you could do that. I'm going to hit Add, and I get a nice drop down that sorts through the various things that I'm collecting. Let's use CPU performance as an example. If I pick CPU performance, I can then do a search on any supported CPU monitors that I do have in my environment. We can see that my presentation server, in fact, I'm looking at CPU utilization. So let's go ahead and add that one. I'd also like to add one for my infrastructure server. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to Windows operating system. And I'm just going to do a quick search to see if it shows up. And sure enough, it does. So we're going to add that as well to my presentation server. Now I'm not finding any on my TS10 infrastructure server, and that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank for right now. I can always go back and edit my group and add additional monitors later if I wish. So at this point, I just simply hit save, and my new group is created, and you can see that I now have two groups. I have a TrueSight servers, and I have Windows servers, and they are in fact both very different. That's all there is to creating a static group in TrueSight Operations Management. Thank you.